Hey everybody, welcome to TMI Live. Right now, I'm hearing multiple versions of the theme song going on in my head, so I was a little bit perturbed there for a second, but hopefully I'm coming in 5 by 5 to everybody else out there. Okay, I see where the trouble lies. I had one extra tab opened and it was playing the song a little bit delayed. So anyway, welcome everyone to TMI Live, Too Much Information with Moondog, which is myself here, where it's my weekly live stream where I go over the videos that I've posted this week and share with you some of the background information on those videos, as well as let you get in on some of the videos that I'm working on for this coming week, as well as getting into some interesting topics, at least the topics that I found interesting, and hopefully you do too. In this case, as you saw in those thumbnails, the topic of today is Sydney Sweeney and the whole internet just kerfuffle over her boobs or whatever, her jeans. In any case, what I'd like to start off with though is a plug for this episode's sponsor, Aura, which is my service that I use to help protect me on the internet. And they are a online cybersecurity company that I use. You can use my link r.com/moondog and you get a chance you could use them for free for 14 days, absolutely free. And you'll be able to use all of the services, including credit monitoring, fraud alerts, and also most importantly, one of the best features I've ever seen is they'll get you off of those broker lists, those data broker lists that buy and sell our information, which is how all these spam email companies get our email and send us all the junk, as well as junk text. So try them out, use my link, and you can see the QR code there. Use my link or.com/moondog and try them out for 14 days for free. Great service. Also VPN, include a VPN. And if you sign up for the full, for their full monthly service, they include a VPN along with all those other services, and you get $1 million in fraud protection, ID theft insurance. So it is probably the most comprehensive cybersecurity service that I know of. So much so that Robert Downey Jr. is like their sports spokesperson now, and also a member of their board of directors. So, yeah, it's good enough for Iron Man. It's probably good enough for the rest of us. So, try them out. All right, so let's get into the giveaways that we have. A contest every week that I like to give away a little bit of something to the folks who are here on the side chat already. And today I've got 3 different patches. I got 2 patches from Brownells from SHOT Show. We have their SHOT Show, their official SHOT Show patch, and I've got a Smithbusters patch from Brownells. Plus, I've got a wild card here. I've got the Bull, because we're dealing with a lot of BS in this topic today. So I thought that would be appropriate. This is from Primary Arms. This is their tactical Bull patch. This is really one of my favorite patches from SHOT Show. So you get a chance to win one of these. So got 3 winners today. All you have to do is get in on the side chat here. Let me just up again here. There we go. This is your clue. Get in, put in a hashtag, and put in the name of this brand in the side chat. Hashtag and the name of the brand. If you know what this is, you're going to get plenty of clues concerning, and it concerns the topic at hand that we have for today. So this is your first clue. It's a visual clue. This is their logo, and it's actually also the answer. So hopefully you figured that out. Okay. Let's see. We got some folks already on the side chat. So I'd like to thank everybody who's here. We got Pick. We got Tim Mooney. We got Porsche Speedster. Hey, we got Chris Wedsworth, and we got Mark, and we have Jay Delta. So thanks y'all for joining me today. Okay, so let's get into the new videos that I posted this week. So last year, I posted a video review for the Discovery Optics ED-LHT, which is their 3 to 15 by 50. It has ED glass, Japanese ED glass, a really nicely built. It's basically sort of their lower magnification version of their ED 2 to 20, or not 2 to 24, sorry. They're 6 to 24, and it's in a 3 to 15 in terms of its magnification range. And I thought it was a good scope, but I thought that the reticle, because I think that it's probably the same etched reticle as their 6 to 24, that it seemed a little bit thin, because essentially you're taking the same reticle because it's the first focal plane. And if you go to a lower magnification, obviously if you're 624, if you're starting at 6, it scales down and everything gets smaller and thinner. Well, 6 is was, I thought, on the 624, you could still see it, but it was getting quite thin. But if you go down to a 3 to 15, a 3, yeah, that gets really super thin. So I thought that was the biggest, the only negative comment I had about that particular scope. But a year later, I've had the scope for a year. I've had a chance to shoot it at the range, mostly with my rimfire. And I thought, hey, let's revisit this and get opinions, not just from me, but from other shooters, and see what they thought. And I didn't tell them, I didn't direct them to see my review. I wanted to get their honest opinions. So I just wanted to share one of the opinions I have. I got 5 different opinions from 5 different folks at the range. So here's one of them, and you'll see a little, if you
just to finding the target and matching the target to the reticle. But I'd say you probably would, given how light the cross-hatching is, you probably have to have good lighting where you're going to be. Imagine that might be difficult to shoot it in sort of a low light situation.
Hi, I'm Mike Norton. The clarity is good. The first focal plane for me is not necessarily something I like, because once you get down, it's too small for the crosshairs to appear reliably for me. I think the reticle illumination could be brighter. But at 15 power at 100 yards, I was getting a good crosshair that I could keep consistently on the target. Better ammo would have gotten better group, but it was overall good.
Anyway, that gives you a little bit of a sample of the 5. There's you heard a little bit of one of them, and so I had a total of 4 different opinions. And overall, they thought it was a good scope, but they also, without any prompting from me, also agreed that it was a little hard to read at 3 power. And that's really the only thing that I have to say that's negative about it. It's great glass overall, and for the price, really good glass for the price. So that is the video, the 1 year later review, sort of group review of the Discovery Optics EDLHT. And on my Moondog Reviews channel, I reviewed the new Claris E5 Plus. And this is the follow-on. Their new E5 Plus is looks almost identical to their E5, except they've added an extra button, which I thought was actually a game changer for this particular EDC light. It's like a blade, almost in shape and size. It's almost like an EDC knife. It's a very stylish looking. It comes in, I believe, 4 or 5 different color choices. So, it certainly is a great gift and very inexpensive. So I reviewed the E5 Plus, and let me just share the video of that. I recharged the flashlight overnight, and we're going to see how long it'll run starting in turbo mode. But don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch this in real time. I've set the camera to time lapse, and let's just see when this thing turns off. And it goes for a fair bit on a
Well, this is
recharge.
surprising. The manual says that it has a runtime of 50 minutes on turbo mode, and we've already blown past that. Well, let's see how much longer. So that's 100 minutes right there. So over an hour and a half so far.
It's still going. So quite an impressive runtime starting at that brightest output.
So there it is. And the timer's already ticked over once. So this is 193 minutes, not just 93 minutes.
And this for a flashlight, that EDC flashlight that is that thin, made from aluminum, whole aluminum body, and under $20. So yeah, I think it's a great it's a great little EDC light, perfect for folks who don't usually carry EDC lights. So great gift for folks that you want to, have that little bit of extra protection and utility, but may not necessarily want to carry a more traditional EDC light. All right, so let's go to my video that I posted on Moondog Go, and this is part of an ongoing series of videos where I show the new Universal Hollywood's Super Nintendo world. And in this sort of mini park within the Universal Studios park in Hollywood, you get to interact with basically have there's fun little mini games throughout the park. And if you spend the extra money, and you got to do it for your kids, but yeah, they're like, it's not cheap. It's like the wristbands, these RFID wristbands that they give you, these power up wristbands cost like $35. So, or you can get the special edition, which is like $45. But yeah, I got my kids their wristbands, and it keeps track of how many coins you pick up throughout the park. And they have these boxes, just like in Super Nintendo, in Mario World or Super Mario Brothers, where if you hit the box, well, you could hit it with your hand. You don't have to hit it but everybody's always banging it with the wristbands. But as long as you have a wristband in your hand and you bang the box, you collect coins, and the coins can be turned in for or used in the park. There's some like little fun bonuses. I don't even know what all of them are, and but there's some where you can interact with characters who are in costume, like Mario and Luigi and Princess Peach, and there are pre-recorded messages that will they'll only say if you have certain number of coins in your wristband, things like that. So they give you little bonuses and such. There's also a separate ride in the park that you could only get in if a member of your party has a wristband, and only if you've completed 3 of the 4 mini games in the park, and this is one of them. So he has to hit the box at the right time to make the top box explode and in the game. Oh, missed it. He has to get the explosion when the shell is in the pipe. So hopefully you got what was going on there. You basically have to hit the first explosion box, and that sets up a chain reaction to the other boxes, and it lights up, in sequence. And you have to cause the box that's underneath the green pipe to explode when the shell that's sliding across is inside of the pipe, and that will send the shell up to the top and hit the Koopa at the very top. And that's when you win that particular mini game. All right. Now let's take a look at the newest video that I posted that'll be posting up this week. And that is for the new CV Life Eagle Blaze. And this is one of the least expensive, most affordable 7 to 35. That's right, 7 to 35 power scope with Japanese ED glass. And it is, well, I won't spoil what my opinion of the scope in the upcoming video, but I'd like to ask if anybody out there has an opinion on a good headline for this. Now, as you can see here, this is the headline. One of the headlines I'm going to go with: Japanese ED glass, Eagle Blaze, 7 to 35 by 56, and that's a pretty straightforward headline, but maybe you have an idea for another one. Of course, there's always jokes about ED. There's Blaze or Bust. I like that one. That's a good one there. Porsche Spitzers. That's his suggestion. Oh, where did you go? Where did that go? There we go. And what I can say, without being a spoiler for the video, is that it's a pretty decent scope, and certainly for the price that that they're asking for it. Now, I have with with tariffs and everything else going crazy, I won't even name the price. I'll see if I can find that on Amazon right now. But then prices have changed radically but between posting a video and when it actually goes live. So that's the reason why I'm a little hesitant to name a price. But Able Blaze 7 to 35 by 50, and I'm actually shouldn't mention this to any great degree, because I don't know, YouTube tends to have issues with posting or trying to drive people to purchase things through their website. So maybe I won't mention this, but it is. I will mention that it is under $500, under 460 is what it's going for right now on the Amazonia website. So I believe that's the right one. Let me see here. It doesn't say what the magnification is on that link. Yep, that is correct. It is. You can find it on Amazon, and of course, when I post up this video, I'll include. You'll find links on my website. So use those affiliate links if you're interested in picking one of this thing up. But anyway, there's a pill for that. That's funny, though. It's a little bit. You'd probably have to include the word "ed" in there somewhere for that to be to make sense. Let's see. Oh, sorry, hit the wrong highlight there. Pick says blazing quality, budget price. All right, those are great suggestions, guys. Thanks for chiming in there. All right. If you have any more, of course, and if you're watching this after the live stream, please post it in the comment section. And if I see it before Saturday, I will attempt to include it. If it's a good one, I'll include it in the test run of this. What YouTube does is allows me to post 3 different options for a thumbnail, and it randomly presents a thumbnail to people. And depending on which thumbnail gets clicked on the most often, YouTube will automatically sort of select that as the official thumbnail for a video. So you have an opportunity to get a little bit of your creativity in here and into my videos. Okay, so here's the next clue for the prizes. And again, the prizes are going to be these. Let me bring myself up here. They're going to be the Primary Arms Bull patch, our Brownells Smithbusters patch, and the official Brownells SHOT Show 2025 patch that are up for prizes today. And the next clue is, in the Name This Brand contest, this American clothing and accessories retailer is headquartered at Southside Works in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was founded in 1977 by brothers Jerry and Mark Silverman. So if you know this brand and it has something to do with today's topic, put in hashtag and the name. And let me just double check here. You don't have to include the capitalization, but for this case, no space between the 2 words. So if you've posted already, make sure. Oh, there we go. There's an extra graphic that showed up because Apple is like that. If you've already posted there and you've posted a space between the 2 words, please repost as a 1 word. So let me just take a quick look. If like Tim Mooney, Mark Morris, I forgot to mention that to Mark if you're there, and Tim, make sure that you post that as 1 word. So just want to give you a heads up there. Okay, so down the rabbit hole, folks. Today's topic is boobs, and that is a noun, and the definition of boobs is a foolish or stupid person. You thought I was going somewhere else with that. Boobs, stupid or stupid or foolish person, or an embarrassing mistake, because this certainly is an embarrassing mistake by a lot of the comments on the internet and by pundits and influencers out there about all their outrage about this topic. And this has to do with the young actress Sydney Sweeney and her jeans campaign, the ad campaign that she's featured in. Is it left-wing outrage hype, or is it a deep state psyop? Because just I like to point out that this whole thing apparently just sort of bubbled up into the commentosphere, in the last 2 weeks. And prior to this, what was in the news cycle? It was Trump is in the Epstein files, and Obama is culpable for Russiagate. Then suddenly this whole jeans thing shows up. The news cycle happens, 24 hours, you got to put up the new stuff. So it's understandable. It's just, a little more substantial things were happening in the news, but suddenly all the people seem to be wanting to talk about and meme about a jeans campaign. So is it is it a deep state psyop, or is it really true that Sydney Sweeney equals boobs equals fascism? Let me know what you think about that. And the variations, as to, of course, anything that is significant on the interwebs is always mutates into even more interesting things. Michael Jen says, like Sydney said, eyes up here. And Bamadez says, if I'm poking fun at anything, it's going to be Lizzo's rebuttal. Yes, already there's been a lot of rebuttal mock ads to these ads. But here, let me just take a step for those of you who may not know anything about what's going on or what I'm referring to, and we're just sucked in by the images of the young ladies in the thumbnail. Let's talk about Sydney Sweeney, who, for many of you, may not be even familiar with who this person is, named Sydney Sweeney. She has been in a couple of movies, but most notably recently, she's been in the streaming series Euphoria, which I've not seen. I've only seen the trailers for Euphoria. It's apparently a U.S. Redo of an Israeli television show. Who knew? Yes, apparently there was an Israeli show called Euphoria. It's basically about I'm just reading Wikipedia here, by the way. I don't watch the show. A 17-year-old girl who's getting out of drug rehab, and sort of her friends and the people she in her sphere. And one of the actresses that either is her friend or maybe is a classmate of hers is played by the actress Sydney Sweeney, who we see here in the left, as well as her character in the show Euphoria. She's the one in the green here. And she's also been notable. She's shown up on a couple of other comments and memes that I've seen before this, having to do with her figure. And she does have a very, very pleasing old school figure in terms of her body type. And by saying old school to me is because she reminds me of the models I used to see and have posters up on my high school and dorm room wall. And I'm talking about in not just the ones in the centerfolds of magazines, but I'm thinking of like Rebecca Romaine from the 90s and those kind of supermodels. Now, the thing is, one of the comments about her is that people actually of many things. One of the interesting things is people have called her mid, that she's really not that attractive. I can understand that. She doesn't have a sort of a classical glamour face as far as her face is concerned. I mean, she's not unattractive for sure, but she's not sort of the typical. I would say the typical Hollywood glamour type. And let me just bring up what I'm talking about here. She's kind of like the girl, more of a girl next door kind of face. Certainly a very hidden body. I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with that, but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call her the most sort of movie star-esque face or model face. She does have two very strong assets. One of them is not her butt, though. So in any case, this is from Euphoria, and this is the most notable thing prior to this, and also to many cases for most of us, the most notable things about her. But for those of you who did not know, there is a jeans campaign from American Eagle that's come out featuring her, and they're playing off of the pun of jeans, blue jeans, and her jeans, and she talks about her jeans, and the whole tagline is, Sydney Sweeney has great jeans. So this, if you haven't seen it, here's some old commentary from those commercials.
Passed down from parents to offspring.
The latest front in the culture wars is leaving viewers distressed.
My jeans are blue.
An ad released by brand American Eagle in July features Hollywood star Sydney Sweeney, blonde hair, blue eyes, and in classic American denim. But it's not the jeans sparking backlash, rather the message.
Sydney Sweeney has great jeans.
While American Eagle says proceeds from the limited release Sydney jean will go towards a mental health nonprofit, the campaign's language struck a dissonant chord with some viewers.
Okay, before I get into the dissonant chord, this is the hilarious part, the outrage commentary, mostly from that have been described as leftists. But I just wanted to scroll back a little bit this is my comment, and this is from also commented by my wife. She's got a great rack, but she got no butt. So she's got a lot of treble, no bass. That's my take on it. Anyway. Let's get back into the fun outrage bait. So let's listen to these comments.
With some viewers.
Those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird, like fascist weird, like Nazi propaganda weird.
Let's talk about that American Eagle Sydney Sweeney ad and eugenicist dog whistles.
The backlash, swift.
My jeans are superior, and by that, I mean white.
With even some celebrities taking aim at the ad.
Jeans are passed down from parents to offspring.
American Eagle now responding to the controversy, posting on Friday in part, great jeans look good on everyone. But critics are also getting critiqued. The White House's communications director characterizing the backlash as, quote, cancel culture run amok, with Republican Senator Ted Cruz saying the criticism amounts to the crazy left coming out against beautiful women. Even Vice President J.D. Vance weighing in.
My political advice to the Democrats is continue to tell everybody who thinks Sydney Sweeney is attractive is a Nazi. That appears to be their actual strategy.
Why do you think this ad has resonated and perhaps stirred a little controversy from so many people?
This one is driving attention for the wrong reasons, for controversy, for either being not clever enough, or on the opposite end of that spectrum, for being downright offensive, maybe even racist.
Now,
okay, racist. Okay, all right. Before we get into any more of that, and I probably will get into trouble from a copyright standpoint, so I will stop it right there. But I want to share onto the stage here. Here is an ad that came out not too far back. Beyonce in jeans. Okay, nobody had any problems with this ad. She's in jeans. She's got blonde hair, but okay. And going forward on this, I wanted to share the whole has great jeans. I have one criticism from an advertising professional here, and that would be me. For those of you who don't know, I used to be a creative director at ad agencies here. This is not an original idea, by the way. The whole your jeans and playing around with the term jeans. It's not that original, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, all the great ideas, all the great stories have already been told. But here's something I wanted to share with you. Most people probably did not know. This is from 1980.
The secret of life lies hidden in the
Oh, hold on. Sorry. For some reason, it's not showing that in the in the foreground. Let me replay this ad. This is from the 1980s.
The secret of life lies hidden in the genetic code. Genes are fundamental in determining the characteristics of an individual and passing on these characteristics to succeeding generations. Occasionally, certain conditions produce a structural change in the gene, which will bring about the process of evolution. This may occur in one or more of the following ways. Firstly, by selective mating, in which a single gene type proves superior in transmitting its genes to future generations. Secondly, by gene drift, in which certain genes may fade away while other genes persist. And finally, by natural selection, which filters out those genes better equipped than others to endure in the environment. This may result in the origin of an entirely new species, which brings us to Calvin's and the survival of the fittest.
Calvin Klein genes.
All right, for those of you who remember, this is Brooke Shields, folks, and so that's why my point earlier was that this is nothing new. This is not a new concept. It's been around, and for everybody to be going about how genes are somehow this racist slur is just shows a lack of any research into the category of genes advertising. And anybody who's seen genes advertising, at least up until maybe the last 10 years, it's always been about sex. Any kind of clothing is always sort of sexually related in terms of sex appeal. That's the whole point of fashion. So I don't know. It just seems like a big hullabaloo about nothing to me. But yeah, I guess people need to have something to be upset about in the news. So Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Yes. Yeah, I suppose. I've never worn American Eagle. The only jeans I've ever worn were Levi's, but I presume they're good jeans. I wouldn't know. But as Tim says, haters gonna hate, and this is essentially what this is. They're hating on this commercial because she's attractive. That's my biggest guess. At least attractive to some, or more importantly, people are upset because they think other people find her attractive, but they don't find them attractive. That's my guess. Now, here's an interesting thing about this campaign. It has spawned quite a few funny response ads, and here's one from, I believe this is a comedian or a influencer, and she posted up this series of videos, and these memes have gone out. She's an Asian influencer, and she did this mock commercial. My jeans are yellow. Here's a fun one for those of you, again, who remember the 80s with the remake of The Fly. Seth Brundle has fly jeans. Here's one of my favorites, response videos. This is one that was, I'm assuming, was created with AI with Robert Downey Jr. from one of my favorite movies, Tropic Thunder. Our people always had great jeans. Jeans have great Chuck Norris. And this one, it has to be my absolutely favorite sort of take on this whole jeans campaign. Jesse Ventura has mean jeans. That's got to be the winner. It just hits on so many levels. All right, does anybody know who these people that I'm talking about? Shout it out on the side chat. But if you've seen any interesting or have any interesting memes that have been shared with you, please post it up on my Facebook or on my X. When I post, actually, I should post this video on X. Let me do that right now. That way, those of you who are watching this can post on my X account. Twitter for those old folks. Here, I'm going to post it right now. Here is the jeans controversy. And let's see here. Actually, let me post this on X and you can respond. Actually, let me redo that because I didn't like that. I didn't like how I wrote that first one. I'm just going to delete the first tweet and I'm going to follow it up with I have great jeans. Anyway, so I posted up. Let me know what you guys think and share your funny memes, your funny jeans memes. I'd appreciate that because this is this is peak to me. I don't know. Yeah, you have to be as old as me to get some of these jokes. Interestingly, on X, there is a X account that is just Sydney Sweeney's boobs. So she has her own X account, or they have their own X account. Oh, by the way, so question, Michael Dunn asks, what is your X handle? And it is Moondog Reviews. So let me post it up here for you guys in the side chat. Or at Moondog Reviews. Dog Reviews. And I'll also post my Facebook right now. For those of you who don't know, I'm posting this on the side chat. So you can see that here. It is at Moondog Reviews on X, and you can find me on Facebook at Moondog Airsoft. It's old school. Yeah, I started that account back when I was into airsoft, so that's why it's been like that. So that's what it is. Okay, so Sydney Sweeney's boobs are on X, but this whole Sydney Sweeney meme controversy has also spawned this other almost unrelated but somewhat related whole thing, comparing her to this other young lady who was also on the webs, in this case Instagram. This is a young lady whose stage name is Seo, and it was this comparison to Sydney Sweeney that's been going around the webs. And this photo is of this young lady who works at this office in, I believe, Tokyo, or maybe it's Osaka. And she works in an office. She's like an office girl. But as it turns out, she's also, if you go back here, she's also a part-time model. And she's also was a member for a hot minute of this J-pop, underground J-pop band called Tokyo. Oh, I'm gonna butcher this. It's Tokyo Girls Bravo, because there's also an anime called Girls Bravo. But anyway, so there was this band called Tokyo Girls Bravo, and let me just share. I found this on the web, and I'm going to only be able to share a brief second of this because I don't want to get hit with a copyright dealio. So I'm not going to share like 5 seconds of this, but this is her on stage with her band. So that was her. I know that's all I got. Just a second. That's all I can share with you without being concerned about copyright claims on the music. But yeah, so this is the girl, and she's apparently she's blown up just because everybody finds her super cute. And yeah, she's pretty cute, if you're into that. Other guys may not find her not nearly as attractive as the woman on the right, but it's more of a, which do you prefer, A or B? So this has certainly become a meme, and apparently her Instagram has blown up after people have compared her to Sydney Sweeney. A lot of folks positively saying, yeah, she's the girl that they would prefer, which is great. I'm more power to everybody out there. Everybody has who they would prefer. Honestly, either of them, Of course, the number one person I would prefer would be my wife, but let's take that aside. And if I had to choose between the two, I'd be happy either way. But that's just me. As Bama Dad said, that's why Baskin Robbins has 31 flavors. Damn straight. Absolutely. And Portia Speaker says, both are beautiful. Amen. Now, this is the band that she was in, and I believe that's her on the bottom right. And the funny thing is, in the video that she posted of herself on her Instagram, she doesn't quite look like the girl in this photo. Not exactly, but it just shows you how people can change how they look with lighting, with makeup, as well as just the angle. People, you often hear people say that, they have a good side, and that is true. Our faces are not entirely symmetrical. We look different from the left side of our face to the right side of the face. And most models and actors know which side of their face looks better than the other. And some actors, for example, some really famous actors definitely do not want the wrong side of their face shown. Julie Roberts is notable for that, as well as Ariana Grande. They know which side looks better, and they always take the photo with looking one way versus the other. And sometimes if you do see photos that's flopped the other way, it's actually because the photo was flopped. So they make it a point, and they even probably write it into their contracts that they can't be seen looking from the other side in photo shoots. But that's pretty common and anyway. So what do you think? A or B for those of you out there? Yeah, there's Two-Faced. Well, yeah, he definitely has a good side and a bad side. And true. And Tim Mooney says, some folks look better with age. Me, not so much. This is true. Some people actually, everybody's faces change as they grow, just because your bones in your face never really stop growing in some ways. If you look at actors 10 years later, it's not just their skin. And of course, your skin changes with sun exposure. And of course, your lifestyle, whether you have lived a healthy lifestyle, taken drugs, your weight or what have you, your face can change quite drastically. But also with age, people's faces get longer or wider as they get older, and you can see that with a lot of actors. Yeah, here's El Billy's pointing out, now with AI face touch up, it can make unattractive people. Yeah, this is absolutely true. In fact, there's been a lot of controversy in the influencer sphere in Asia with a lot of Asian influencers, and I'm sure, and with European and American influencers as well, that they've been sort of outed and revealed that what they actually look like when they turn off their filters. And you can find, if you search it up, you can find some of these videos where they've either forgotten or accidentally turned off their filter, and you can see they've suddenly become very different people, very different looking people. And it's kind of sad to me, but the human condition is very broad, and our need for approval and the need to feel wanted is very strong. It's just our natural, that's just nature. That's just who we are as people, that drives us psychologically. So people always want to try to look better. That's why we dress the way we do. We cut or we style our hair the way we do. For those of us who can, we try to work out or exercise to make our bodies look better, or at least be more healthy. And a lot of what we consider to be attractive are just natural selection, or just evolutionary behavior standpoint, are just visual shorthand and signals for healthy genes or healthy individuals. There's been a couple of papers written in zoology as well as evolutionary biology papers about some of the things that we consider to be attractive. For example, boobs. Since we're talking about the topic of boobs, why is it that human females in general have larger more rounded breasts than other primates. Because if you look at monkeys and apes and great apes, which are genetically as closer to us than any other animal, why are their breast shapes not round, even when they are filled with milk? They're generally not round. They're generally kind of flat and kind of blade-like, because that actually is better for an infant standpoint. You don't want to have this big round thing in your face, because that can make it hard to breathe. But with humans, they are round. And one of the theories about this is because we are front mating primates, is that the shape of the breast, as you can see here in Sydney's cleavage in this shot, in this photo for the ad campaign. Let me bring that up. The shape of the cleavage for many Westerners is considered attractive, and that is because the shape of the breast is theorized to echo the shape of the buttocks, the round buttocks, which is a visual signal for males of sexual availability. Now, that's the reason why breasts have evolved to have that shape that mirrors the butt, because we are, as I was mentioning, more front-facing mating primates. That's a theory, but that's one of the reasons why we are possibly have the shape that we do. Our lips. Here's another thing that's unique to humans as opposed to other primates. Why do we have lips? Most primates, if you see them, they are pretty like this. If you look at chimpanzees, if you look at gorillas, if you look at and even look at orangutans, they don't have lips. They have really thin. I mean, they got pronounced larger mouths in general, but their lips are like this. And that the theory, as far as it goes, that the reason we have pronounced lips is, again, because we are front-facing mating species. The prevailing theory is that it elicits the same kind of attractiveness response that that you would have with looking at the labia of a female, and that sort of looking at the redness, and that just sort of elicits the brain response to that, because we're front facing when we mate. That's the theory anyway. So a lot of this has to do with things that we consider to be attractive, have to do with how our sort of what signals our brains from a mating standpoint. Also, the shape of the figure connotates how healthy that person is, how much of a fat store that they have, because in the past, as you know, whether we were living out in the plains, and our ancestors were living out in the plains, we didn't have McDonald's to go to. If you had a famine, if you had a drought, you're going to be starving. So the folks who had a little bit more fat store in their body were the ones who were going to survive, and therefore the ones that are the more attractive, because they've got all that extra fat to keep them going and to bear more children. Therefore, a more curvaceous figure, or at least curvaceous in what some consider the right places, is considered attractive up to a certain degree. Granted, not discounting any of you Lizzo fans or anything else, but that is one of the other things about shape. Also, the whole part of the whole controversy has to do with also her being white, which I won't get into the whole racist standpoint here, but in many cultures, a lighter skin color on females is considered more attractive. That's not across the board, but in Asian and Middle Eastern cultures, it is considered more attractive, because the people who were rich and in power weren't working on the fields, and because of that, they were living indoors in palaces or whatnot. They weren't getting as much sunlight, and therefore the people who have lighter skin are considered richer because they don't spend as much time out in the sun. Of course, that is kind of flipped on its head nowadays, with it's the folks who have the money to go on vacations who go out and lounge out on the beaches to get sun and get tan. So yeah, that is a cultural attractiveness that's developed, in the last 50 years or so, what have you. Here's a point here: childbearing hips. Yes, if you go back in that term, well, it's absolutely true. If you go back to portraiture, even in some drawings of and carvings of women from Greek sculptures and Roman statuettes and the Renaissance. Those women, especially from the 18th century, saw those big hoop skirts, those the big skirts. That is to mirror a big wide hips because that was attractive. That again elicits the response from your monkey brain that, oh, she's got big wide hips, she can bear a lot of children, she's more attractive. So at least I'm talking strictly from a man standpoint, because that's all the only valid point of view that I have to give today. But that's what a lot of men find attractive because they don't maybe not necessarily think that, but that's what's hardwired into our heads. Portia Spitzer points out, yes, fertility goddesses. If you look at statuary from prehistoric times of what they considered to be fertility goddesses, they all carried these exaggerated features. To some cases, if you look at some of the fertility goddesses of the Middle East and the Levant, that you have women with like 50 breasts. And though some scholars I understand debate whether or not those are actually breasts or could be fruit that's hanging from the front of their bodices, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, fertility, being able to bear children, to be able to nurse children, could mean the difference between our species dying or not dying from millions of years ago. So yeah, this is why it's hardwired in our heads. These are visual symbols or cues that mean attractiveness, because it means these are traits that are going to be passed down, because those who didn't have them didn't get their genes passed down. That's what natural selection is. Monkey brains. Yes, that's why we like them thick. Michael Dunn says, was that movie Total Recall where there's a lady with 3 breasts? Yes, it was. It was. Yeah. I don't know if there's, I mean, aside from those statues, I don't know of any culture where multiple breasts beyond 2 is considered attractive, but who knows? There's always that guy out there or that gal who's into that, perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, hopefully this has been an interesting little side chat into what is considered the most interesting thing to be talking about on the web right now. It is certainly a strange fascination that's going on. And I wonder if this is going to be a herald to a return of sexy commercials from, sexy commercials have been around since commercials have been around since the 50s. I mean, you can go back to Anne Margaret in the 60s and other bombshells putting out commercials and selling products. But as I growing up in the 70s with Farrah Fawcett and going into the 80s with Cindy Crawford and the 90s with Claudia Schiffer and Rebecca Romaine, and even to the 2000s, I can remember I didn't find her particularly all that attractive, but everybody considered her sexy. There was Paris Hilton and those Carl's Jr. or in some the other parts of the country, Hardee's burger commercials where she was washing a car. That people. Oh, thank you for. There's a good point. Pamela Anderson. Who could forget Pamela Anderson in Baywatch? It was all to sell stuff, or at least to get you watching. Baywatch, Boob Watch. Yeah. Good ads should flatter women without objectifying them. Yeah, yes, but it's a fine line because even if you're trying to just show a woman for her traits that aren't necessarily about her body or her looks, someone's going to objectify that. For example, the woman on the left, Seo, I don't think anybody's objectifying her, but some are still going to objectify her. I don't think that her photo that she posted herself, by the way, that of her just every day, working every day. I don't think she was trying to objectify herself, but certainly there are guys out there who are fapping to that, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so let's get into our contest and wrap things up today, because I think that's pretty much all I have to say on this topic. Again, post up your memes, share your memes with me on Facebook and on X. And let's get into our contest. All right, so let's start with our giveaway today. This is our final clue. In 2025, this jeans and apparel company hit marketing gold by putting out a notable and some say notorious series of commercials starring Sydney Sweeney, which is what we're talking about today. So if you know this jeans company, put in hashtag their name, no space, just the two words that form their name into the side chat right now, and I'll be drawing the winner for our giveaway patches. And while some of you are who've come in towards the end may not have gotten a time to put in their hashtags, go ahead and put them in now. But let's talk about the other contest that is going on right now on my website, which is you get a chance to win these Bluetooth shooting earbuds from ProHear. I'll be giving those away at the end of this month. And all you have to do is be a subscriber to Moondog Go, and I will be posting up. Let me post up a link for that in the side chat right now. And this is the direct link for the contest page. Here's a question from Michael Dunn. Yes, I did. I sent the packets out for last week's winners. It may be I sent it out a little bit late, but I did send them out. I believe it was it might have been, was it yesterday? Either yesterday or I sent them out on Monday. So if you haven't got them by the end of this week, let me know. And here we go. Here's just a additional commentary from Tim Mooney. Blondes and redheads were originally a sign of nutritional deficiencies, and genes passed on because blondes and gingers stood out. And for those of you who, for all of the people who are outraged about showing blondes and redheads, people seem to have forgotten that ginger used to not be a positive thing. People would make fun of gingers because of their redheads. I mean, the whole term redhead stepchild. So it's funny that now being a redhead is a positive or sexy thing, which is great. Absolutely great. I've always been very fond of redheads, but yeah, it wasn't too long ago that it was a negative thing. So it's funny how sort of cultural perceptions change, and it's what it is. Boomstick says, when are you giving away that March scope? Yeah, I wish. Got to ask March about that, but get your hashtag in right now, and you could at least win a primary arms patch. So, let me post up. I forgot to post up the link to Moondog Go. Well, this is my travel channel. If you aren't already subscribed to it, part of the giveaway for the ProHears earbuds is you have to be a subscriber to Moondog Go. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on Moondog Go and take a screenshot of your subscribe button, and you could enter to win these shooting earbuds that I'll be giving away at the end of this month. And I also want to point everybody to the yard sale page that I have now on my website, where I'm posting up items that I've previously reviewed, and your opportunity to win them or bid on them. All you have to do to get them is to donate to this fundraiser. It's for at my son's school, St. Anne's School in San Francisco. They are going on a class trip to Washington, D.C. next year. And this fundraiser is to help pay for some of the students who can't afford to go, or in this case, also for the teachers who are the chaperones who are going on this trip to pay for their luggage fees, because everybody knows you don't get free check-in luggage anymore. So they're going to be bringing some extra stuff, including first aid kits and whatnot. And so we're going to cover their luggage fees for this. So I post up a new item, or sometimes 2 items every week. There is a suggested donation. So if you donate that amount and you email me that you've made that donation to the fundraiser, then you will get that item. Now, in most cases, there's only one, though I have to mention that there are 2 of these right now that are available. These are night vision goggles. And so if more than one of you wants one of these, you can get, or you could get 2 of them. So I'll just point that out to you. I'm not going to put a link up because, again, YouTube has issues with posting links to items that are gun related. Can you believe that? Yeah, you can't post up links to websites that have gun firearms accessories. And I'm not going to argue with them and say that is not a firearms accessory, because it's just a night vision goggles. You could use it to go hiking with. So anyway, go use that link. Go to a Moondog. Do go to my website and you'll see a link there to the Moondog yard sale. And let's do the drawing now for the CV Life, LPVO that I gave out last week. And let me just bring up that to enter that contest is similar to the Pro Here contest. You've had to enter the contest before the 31st of last month, but here are the winners. Let me just bring up that page, share screen, and the Bear Swift. There we go. So let's spin to win. 3, 2, 1. All right. Oh, I accidentally set it up for the next one, but I saw that John Adams is our winner. Congratulations, John Adams. Hopefully you're watching this, but that is the winner of the contest for the CV Life, and I'll be drawing the winner for the Pro Here's at the end of this month. So let's go to our drawing for our Name the Brand contest, and everybody's got their hashtags in. And I also just want to point out that the next week's show, the topic's going to be K-pop demon hunters, and cross your fingers. I'm hoping to have at least one special guest from the industry joining me to discuss this topic, which is the other new hot topic. It has nothing to do with race baiting and jeans. It has to do with what all the kids are singing on, and the number 1 song on Spotify right now is from this animated movie called K-pop Demon Hunters, and hopefully far less controversial topic than the one that we have today. But let's go and do the drawing right now for the giveaway. Today is, all right, we have 7 entries, and let's see. Let's start with the Primary Arms Bull is going to go to Tim Mooney. Congratulations. And let me just make sure I got a screenshot of that. All right. And that you get the bull, Tim. So Tim, hopefully you're out there on the side because I just saw you post something on there. Make sure that you send me an email, and I'm just going to post it over here. Send me an email with a hashtag American Eagle, and there is the email to send the email to. Put in your name and address to ship out your patch to, and let's pull our next winner. Oh, we got a last minute entry in from Vadim. All right, so let's go to our next draw again. This one for the Brownells SHOT Show 2025 patch. And the winner for this one is going to Porsche Speedster. Great. Congratulations. Okay, let me get this. I don't know why why my screenshot. Okay, there we go. My screenshot's giving me problems, but here is the patch you're going to get there, Porsche Speedster. All right, and our last one. It's going to draw again. This is for the Smithbusters patch. And this one's going to Bamadad. All right. Let me just hit that screenshot button again. All right. Congratulations, Bamadad. All right. So thanks to everybody for showing up again this week. Hopefully it was an interesting topic that you got a chance to get into if it hasn't sort of overtaken your social media at all. And if you find if you get any interesting and hilarious takes on this, variations, mutations of this whole jeans campaign, please share them with us on my Facebook and my X, and I will post up. You can send it to me on X at Moondog Reviews on X. And you can also find me on Facebook let me just post it up here. Actually, I should have just posted up the link for X. Let me do that as well for you. So Bamadad and Porsche Speedster, get your info to me via email, and I'm going to post a link right now. moondogairsoft@gmail. Send me an email with the hashtag American Eagle, hashtag American Eagle in the subject line, and send me your name and a mailing address for your patch, and I will mail it to you this week. All right. And before we close off today's episode, I just want to ask you to don't forget to hit that like button. And of course, subscribe to all my channels. This is the whole point of me doing these live streams, is hoping to grow a community and grow the channels that I have. I got Moondog 2A with all my pew pew stuff, Moondog Reviews for all of my geeky and electronic stuff that doesn't have anything to do, or generally doesn't have anything specific to do with guns and firearms, but also just all the gadgets that I get to chance to geek out on, as well as any anime and otaku stuff is going to be over there. And of course, there's Moondog Go, which is my travel channel. And there's some crossover in all of these things, because sometimes I go to an anime convention, or I go to an anime store, and that's going to show up on Moondog Go, as well as the stuff that I buy ends up on Moondog Reviews, or a topic of discussion on Moondog Reviews. So check out all my channels. Be sure to hit like and subscribe for this video, and be sure to tune in for next week's episode on K-pop Demon Hunters. And if you haven't seen it, go see it. And that way we can talk about it next week. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in, and all you winners out there, don't forget to send an email to me. I'll post it up one more time at moondogairsoft@gmail.com. All right. See you, everybody. Peace out. God bless. Moondog. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.